Evening, Scottish Midge. Evening, welcome in.
Welcome.
Welcome in on. What's Yes, I know, Matthew. I know your name very well. Welcome in. Why are you called Scottish Midge, Matthew? You need to explain that to me one day. A midge is a small thing, a midgie. You're not that small, Matt. You're a good average man. We look eye to eye, you're a good average man. Here we fucking go, and that's Stephen talking about
Shite.
King Kong.
Shite.
Godzilla. He doesn't like them. We'll be on in a minute.
Zilla.
I'm flinging Stephen under the bus here,
Let's
but
get
I can't
ready
listen
to
to
rumble.
another shite copyright free song. That's quite enough.
Hello and welcome on into another edition of Movie News here at MBE. Thanks, Harley, throwing me under the bus with that grunt and snot. Yes, it's Monday night here, and it's live
Monday.
and interactive here on YouTube and, of course, our Twitch stream. I'm Stephen, John McLaughlin, one of your co-hosts. The other co-host to my right, your left, is John C. Walsh.
Very bunged up John C. Walsh, sounding like Hugh Keevins. A prominent sports journalist, if you can call him that, in the west of Scotland.
Now, John, before we go on about our headline and our thumbnail, which is the main story on tonight's show,
Yes.
we're 2 days away from the release of Thalapathy Vijay's Beast. How excited are you?
Well, Steve, I've just realised it's the Easter weekend, so I'm actually off, potentially.
Yay!
3 days
Yep.
over the weekend, so I'm absolutely going to go and watch this movie. Very excited for it.
John, that's 3 days with 3 big films.
3 days
Triple
with
R,
3 big films.
KGF
Yeah.
and Beast.
Might need to watch them all over the weekend.
Yeah, and review them all.
Yeah, I'm hugely excited for Nelson's movie, for Thalapathy Vijay once again, starring in a big blockbuster release.
Yeah.
And to see Pooja Hedge for the first time, I believe, in cinematic form. Anyway,
Yeah.
seen her in dancing,
Plenty of
and
trailers,
sort
yeah.
of mass videos and things like that, but not seen her cinematically.
Yeah, very
doing her
interested to
stuff.
see how she performs,
Don't know
John.
how big a role she's got, Stephen.
Well,
we don't know how
John,
big a role she has got, but you don't bring an actress of that calibre in.
that brings us
Nobody either.
smoothly into the article,
Yes.
because it's all about Thalapathy Vijay being the main man. And he is the main man.
I found
course, he
the
is.
review strange.
Well, John, I think it's the first movie review, according to DNA India anyway. It's coming in anyway, I said
Very
anyway.
Stevie Wonder there.
Yeah, Beast first movie review out. Thalapathy Vijay is
it?
razor
Whoa.
sharp and
What is
slick
going on
action
here, Steve?
thriller. Beast movie review starring Thalapathy Vijay has done an incredible good job, and UEA-based critic wrote, "There's never a dull moment in this film." So there you go. Now, that's not all he says. If you're obsessed with Indian action flicks, it's likely that you will be looking forward to watching the upcoming film Beast, starring Thalapathy Vijay and Pooja Hedge at the nearest cinemas halls on April 13th. But before you book your tickets to watch Beast, you may want to read the film's first review that is already out. And a UAE-based critic, Umar Sanju, shared the first review of Beast on his Instagram handle and has called Thalapathy Vijay Starer a slick action thriller, stating that Vijay has done an incredible good job. The first critic mentioned that there's never a dull moment when he's on screen.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Umar added that Vijay stole the show in the first
You
and
Googled
added
that,
that Beast keeps you engrossed, enthralled and captivated all through. The critic further added that premise of the film is fascinating and watertight, while the screenplay is razor sharp. In the end, Umar lauded Vijay's performance in Beast and wrote that the actor's act is shocking and clap worthy. Now, John, if I just scroll down here,
I was getting concerned, Steve, and I'm not going to lie, when I
Yeah.
searched up Beast reviews, and it says actors at performance is shocking in Clatworthy. I was relieved when I seen Clatworthy. Shocking has a different meaning over here.
Well, yeah, I
Means
suppose
it's
it's
bad,
Yeah,
but seemingly not.
yeah.
Getting a lot of sort of voluptuous women in dresses posing in
Very nice.
adverts.
Yeah, I hope they're women. John,
I think they are.
yeah.
Certainly.
Well, there's a review there. I'm not going to read it because I've just more or less sort of bullet pointed the points that this reviewer's said anyway. It's interesting that I don't know how it must have been a premiere they were at, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because the film's not out for another 2 days
I tell you-
worldwide. But John,
You want me to share the bit that confused me?
yeah, go for it.
He stole the show.
Yeah.
What do you mean he stole the show? It's his show.
He is the show.
He is the show.
Yeah.
Never ever say that Thalapathy
No.
Vijay stole the show in his own movie ever again,
If
mate.
it's an ensemble film, I would get that, John, but it's not. It's about him. It's about his character. I get, obviously, as you mentioned, Pooja Hedge is in there, John.
Mhm.
And other stars as well. Supporting actors, though. That's what they are, the supporting cast. He is the main focus of
I
the
will
film.
personally
That's why it's
relinquish-
called Thalapathy 65, isn't it?
Yeah.
John?
I'd personally relinquish that journalists, critics,
It could be just someone that's casual.
access.
Maybe
if
it's
he
like
comes out
us,
with that
you
one
know.
more time.
Maybe it's like us, though. Maybe it's like a reviewers like us, you know. We're not actually...
Yeah, we can't
Official.
get on Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes, you know,
Yeah.
because
we say tomatoes instead of tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
We should be on there. We know
Meanwhile,
what we're talking about.
Vijay's highly anticipated movie Beast, which is set to release in theatres on April 13, suffered a huge blow as it got banned in Kuwait and Qatar. Although the reasons are still unclear, it's speculated that the decision comes from the portrayal of Muslims in the film. The film reportedly depicts Muslim characters as terrorists, and a parallel narrative that is also believed that the reason could be because of the movie's anti-Pakistan sentiments.
Really?
Beast
get
director,
Didn't know that.
directed by Nelson Dilip Kumar, is a hostage drama with Vijay playing the leading role. That's why he stole the show.
Yes.
Interestingly, while the film has been banned in Kuwait and Qatar, it has gotten clearance in the UAE. That's why this person has reviewed, and other Arab countries. John, I'm not really want to dig deep into the whole situation. We've not seen the film, so we can't really comment on terms of its tone and its sort of angle.
I'll dig
in
deep
terms
as
of
to
that.
say I would ban Qatar as a country. A horrific human rights record. Horrific. Up there with Saudi Arabia, who of course executed 80 odd people the other day via sort of guillotine. So not the countries you would really be wanting to cater to. They're
John, I
not
don't think the
upstanding
I don't think the
members of the
studio.
international
I don't
community.
think the studio or the directors are going to lose any sleep anyway.
No,
they
they
know
don't
it's going
need
to be
it,
a
no.
worldwide smash elsewhere anyway. Everywhere else, I should say. John, early reviews, or early review I should say, it's kind of stating the obvious in what we were hoping for anyway, and kind of very confident in the way this film's going to pan out anyway. I'll tell you something though, and when I say this, I don't mean this in a negative way. I expect this film to be exactly the same as Master in terms of quality, in terms of production, in terms of being enthralling, a really good story, You know, and Thalapathy Vijay again bringing his A game.
It's just whether the director is of a similar standing to Lokesh Kanagaraj, who of course has worked on multiple movies we've seen now. Stephen Kaifi, really enjoyed it with Karfi. That was a fantastic sort of vengeance. How would you describe that movie? It was an unwilling vengeance trail. This guy got out of jail, or he get a deal.
Yeah,
I think he was getting out the next day, and he gets brought into this sort of unwilling vengeance trail.
Yeah,
and ends up with his daughter at the end. It was almost like a sort of more grounded Con Air, but very well written.
The reluctance, to be involved.
A reluctant sort of vengeance trail, if you like.
Classic Bruce Lee sort of themed. You know, that's the way he always, like his earlier films before Enter the Dragon, was that sort of been forced into the situation and having to deal with it. You're absolutely right.
But Stephen is a great director, Lokesh. He just seems to have that touch. He does things a little bit differently. We've seen it in Master, the way they set up the villain, Bhavani, first, and then they have the confidence to leave Thalapathy off the screen for maybe 10 minutes of that movie, and when he comes in, the confidence that he will steal the show when he ultimately does show his face, and we see it, he's sort of relaxed, lying back. I think it's actually his feet hanging out the car. We end up in this sort of epic chase early doors. I don't know if we're going to get that degree of sophistication in the director's seat, because of course it is Nelson Dilip Kumar's, it's the formative stages of his directing career, if not the first movie he's worked on in terms of this level anyway, working with a talent like Thalapathy, Pooja Hedge, Yogi Babu. So that's the only thing that I would say that would be make me a little bit uneasy going in to see the movie. Is he an accomplished enough director to be able to keep that talent in check, deliver great performances? We'll find out. I think Thalapathy, to a degree, as an actor, as a talent, will help him anyway. He'll steady it. Yeah. If there's maybe some, I don't know, worries, some development to do in the director's seat,
I think
the talent of that man will fucking.
I think he's got a major pull on the studios as well, John, in terms of who he wants to work with as well. You know, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, Nelson would have been one of the sort of top 3 directors that he wants to work with anyway going forward, and obviously for Thalapathy 65 it is him. And
Stephen, we spoke with Ruth, and Ruth did say that Thalapathy's done this before. He has worked with sort of new talent, and he's helped him into the industry. Yeah. And obviously they've built that relationship. And
he's got 30 years, John, acting behind him, you know, and he's worked in some really low budget films in the sort of early 1990s. Probably weren't low budget for the sort of what would you call it?
Of that era, there was less funding.
It was less funding, you know, but it would have been probably still been substantial for its day. But
he was younger then as well. I think that was very much from Jenny Camp.
The later films, John, you can tell the sort of big budget production, big bombastic sets, choreography, action sequences, CG, you know, everything's thrown in there. We certainly saw it last year with Master. An incredible film from start to finish. But it also had heart. It also had a believable villain and someone that you could really relate to. I'm expecting something similar here. I'm hoping the villain's not going to be too two-dimensional.
Well, it's your man, isn't it? Tom Shine Chacko? Well, I always screw his name up.
Is he? Is it Sanjay Dutt? I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's in there. We know that for a fact. He's at least involved in that hostage sequence in the mall, because they were heavily talking about that. But they bring him in. I think he's a Telugu star, so there must be something going on in the script that's attracted Thalapathy in the first place. He will have had an incredibly hands-on approach to developing this movie, working with the likes of Nelson, working with Anirudh. So there must be something there that's intrigued him, brought him in. So, Stephen, I think the movie will be very good. I think it will, just for Thalapathy alone. You turn up to watch this man, he's like a one-man acting show. Very physical, can do it all, romantic stuff, can do the really action-heavy stuff. He's a sort of stone now of India to compare him to a Western actor. I think it'll be a very good movie. I'm not surprised to see if this is, and we'll get to that comment in a moment, an authentic early review, then it's not surprised me they're saying it's razor sharp, it's a slick action thriller, that Thalapathy steals the show. These are all things you would expect of this movie as a sort of base level. What I want to see is what we got in Master. Great performances from side characters, really aiding Thalapathy, so he doesn't have to worry about carrying the movie. He can focus on his own performance. We've not got a Vijay Sethupathi in there, but we've certainly got Put Your Hedges, we says Tom Shine Chakwa, I think that's what his name is.
Sanjay Dutt, yeah.
Yeah, DJ Deep Remix, like your name by the way. I'm not sure if it's an authentic review because the movie is releasing overseas around this time tomorrow. I think
that's why I questioned it, you know, and I think, John...
no, but you get early reviews.
Unless there has been a premiere in the United Arab Emirates, I'm not sure.
You get press as well. Press get in and get screens of movies before they come out.
And I don't think it's certainly not a review if it is genuine that it's giving anything away, because razor sharp, slick action thriller, you could have picked it up from the trailer anyway. But it's sort of digging deep underneath the trailer, John, that I'm trying to get to as well, you know, because when we saw the trailer for Master and we reacted to it, it was action heavy. It's not till you see the film you see the sort of
the humanity of JD.
Humanity and the undertones, you know, of the characters, and you're not going to get that in a trailer. No one's interested in that in a trailer.
Try to sell the epic moments, aren't they? And get you in the door on a sort of spectacle.
I think we're going to get that here as well with Beast, John. I think when we go to the cinema and see this and sit down, yes, we'll be looking forward to the action sequences, the choreography. You know, that first time we see Thalapathy Vijay's character appear, it's going to be thrilling.
On a theatre screen, because we've never been to see an Indian movie.
Sound as well, John, is going to be immense. I know it's going to be immense. And
I expect a different character though, Stephen.
JD
was a sort of broken man. He was an alcoholic. Also a hugely inspirational figure to the younger generation in that movie. They all loved him.
It took something tragic
to bring it out. Also the kids hanging themselves. And just the constant pressure from Miss Bhavani, the atrocities he was committing. This guy we're seeing in Beast is an established sort of military man, a soldier. And they're saying he's one of the best. He's already established as a hard man. So he's from the very first moment you see him in this movie, I think he's going to be fucking unleashing terror on people. So I expect it to be a different kind of movie in that regard. But I'm fucking really excited to see it in a big screen experience. I've never seen an Indian movie in a big screen. And as you says, we've still got Triple R out. KGF Chapter 2 comes out the day after, so there's some huge movies out just now, man. We need to get into them.
We have to watch and review it, exactly, John.
But I believe the movie will be really good. The director has mentioned that Vijay has acted differently compared to his previous movies. And just the fact that the song, man, Beast Mode song, faster, meaner, stronger, I think that's almost like a little microcosmic story of telepathy in this movie. He's faster, he's meaner, he's stronger.
He's going to be ruthless, John.
So we've seen it in the
a
trailer,
meaner streak than we got in Master.
I mean, you heard the character in the sort of control room assessing the hostage situation. He says, look, don't speak to him like that. He'll kill your wife and your daughter.
Yeah.
And he'll make it look like the terrorists done it. So I think he's going to be a more ruthless, experienced kind of soldier character. I cannot wait to see this guy playing. I mean, there was talk of him playing a sort of roguish maverick character who was on the run the early stages of this movie's production. And we says at the time, we've watched lots of his movies, he usually plays the goody two-shoes sort of guy. It has that bit of venom in him. He can handle himself, but he's usually pure of heart, a good man. I'd like to see the darkness in this character.
Do you think we might be excused of the comedy then, John, that we usually see?
I hope not. I like the comedy from Telepathy. That's just a little trademark flourish of his. It doesn't even have to be in terms of vocal. Just the little gestures, the facial expressions that he brings to a scene, he can make you laugh. And we've seen this going back, man, way back, early movies with this guy, 20 years ago. That he can do a little facial expression, you're laughing at it. So.
Sathish Kumar, thanks for the comments, says, I'm watching Beast on the 13th in Watford. Good on you.
Yeah.
Sathish, we're looking forward to it. We're going to be watching it here in Glasgow. Hopefully we get subtitles. We're assuming the subtitles will be provided.
Yeah, should be.
The director's previous movie, Doctor, is a blockbuster. We were actually going to review that at one point. I was voted out by Ruth and John, though, and we actually did make the right decision.
We
in
watched
the end.
Jai Bim.
A fantastic movie, one of my best Indian movies, John.
Probably my highest rated. It was in my top 4 or 5 movies last year.
You can expect a lot of black humour in Beast movie, as the director is excellent at that. Well, that's good to know. That's reassuring as well.
So he actually, Nelson directed Doctor. That's interesting then, because I thought looking at the trailer that it looked very good. Doctor, it was this sort of black market organ sort of harvesting thing going on, wasn't it? It was quite violent and dark and twisted. That looked alright to me. I need to watch the movie. I've not seen it yet. It's on Netflix.
I think it was Ruth's parents that actually put us off it.
Yeah, it was Ruth's mother. basically Plenty of Word says
it was rubbish.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. I don't know if she says it was rubbish. She just wouldn't recommend us watching it.
I think between that and Jai Beam,
Jai Beam
that favoured it. Not to say that Doctor was rubbish. I was only kidding there, but
she says that Jai Beam is a better movie.
DJ Deep Remix says the trailer is only 5% of what the actual movie will be. Yeah, that's generally what they do, isn't it?
You said that, Stephen. It's maybe early part of the movie.
It's the first 15-20 minutes of the film when things do kick off. You get that in action films all the time, don't you? I mean, I think they do that with most action.
I just wonder, Stephen, with this fighter pilot sequence with the missiles being shot at him, do you think he's obviously bloodied in the cockpit? You think that takes place in the later stages of this movie? I think that's
after them all, John.
Or at the beginning?
I just assumed it was after them all because I was looking at the blood patterns on his shirt throughout the trailer, and it seems to be, if you're putting it into order, where he's got the white clean shirt when we see him walking with the complete suit on, that's obviously one of the first scenes we see.
Because I'd love with this movie. Sorry, I'm
no,
cutting
that's
you
fine. That's okay.
I'd love this movie to do the opposite of Master and give us a backstory of this character, what he's capable of, his rise in the military. You can be brief with it. It can be in a song and dance number. Yeah. Show you his sort of rise, his notoriety, and then have these hostages come in, the sort of underlying theme terrorists or whatever it is, come into this hall, or this mall I should say, into this set up. We don't know why they're there, and then he's in there and we already know what he's capable of. We've seen firsthand what he can do. And then you've got him in the cave, he's got the machete, you've got him in the fighter pilot, sort of the jet.
Well, DJ
and then he comes
Remix is assuming, I think it will be the climax, probably the jet fight, John. That would be epic.
I mean, it'd be surreal to see him in this sort of lowly setting, just a pedestrian heavy setting, a mall, a shopping centre, and then he ends up in a fighter. A jet at the end. That'd be some sort of build in terms of action. It'd be incredible the way they build that up. What was I going to say? I was going to say, the whole blocking thing, banning the release in Kuwait, did you say, in Qatar?
Qatar, yeah.
This is something we get all the time, even with Western movies. The Batman, just about every movie gets blocked in China.
I was going
to say
China
to time, Russia.
Blocks quite a few films, John.
So, I mean,
I think it really just depends on the angle of the so-called villains and stuff like that, because
you can understand.
I think it's only the British that don't take offence to it and ban. Star Wars would have been banned here if that was the case. Peter Cushing was as British as they come.
But British know they're bastards, that's why.
They love to play the rogue.
We know our history.
Yeah,
this country is despicable. Stain.
John, point to note, there won't be any premieres for a Tamil movie. It's straight away released on the release day. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I realised that they have this huge audio release. I don't know if that's after the actual initial release of the movie.
I always assumed it was the premiere, John, because
I always thought because
it's an event thing.
You've got all of the cast in this huge arena, and it's a real celebration of the movie. I don't know if you know about that. How the sort of context of these audio launches is that after the movie's release, where they all the cast and crew in Thalapathy, for instance, will go up and do a speech. You'll have a laugh and a joke, and all the fans get to be there and experience it with them. We weren't aware of this until it got announced it wasn't happening for Beast. But I went back, I watched Sarkar, Master, there's been loads. I think Tepaki maybe is another one. Yeah. Where it's absolutely packed. It's like 4,000 people in this arena.
John. Sathish says, so reviews before that are fake.
There you go. So this guy's at it.
At least, we've not created this headline ourselves for clickbait.
I mean, it's just an excuse to bring up these voluptuous women. That's what it's all about, clearly, with us,
Sheen. Yeah. Don't you know what that is? Martin Sheen.
What's this title?
But listen, John, as I said, 2 days away, nearly only 1 day away, because we're nearly into the 12th now.
Yeah. Before the movie.
We've got a long weekend coming up, so we'll all be seeing it at some point, and we'll all be getting that review out ASAP.
KGF.
We'll have to. Well, this is the thing, John. We've got the time, so we've got no excuse, and Triple R as well.
Man, I've got a long weekend.
Yeah.
So
it's 3 long films, but it's worth it, John, because these are massive films. These are the films we've been talking about for the last 2 years.
Stephen, where would you rank in terms of anticipation? And it's going to sound a bit strange. Triple R's been out for a week or something. Yeah. Where would you, and I don't want to start causing war in the comments section, but in terms of the 3 releases, at the turn of the year, what would have been your most anticipated? Beast, Triple R, KGF Chapter 2? Because I tell you, for me, purely because I'm biased and we've watched about 15 Thalapathy movies over the last year, since we watched Master.
Yeah.
I think Beast would have been number 1, Triple R number 2, and then KGF, but they're all close.
I'm not sure. I
They're
would
all
have been the
close.
other way around there, to be honest with
Because
you.
my first movie was KGF.
That's the only
watched.
reason,
Yeah.
because we've
It's
already
Rajamouli,
made, we've already familiarised ourselves with Yash and what he can do with that character Rocky. So I would have said Beast, KGF Chapter 2, and then Triple R. Not because Triple R's like the third-rated film, and that it's not the case. It's just, as you said, we've got a history with Thalapathy Vijay movies. Very intrigued to see. We've, since the film's announcement, we've followed this. That's the reason it's number 1 for us. Number 2, as I said, would be KGF. On my part, I can only speak for myself because we've seen the first film.
I picked Triple R purely because it's SS Rajamouli,
Yeah.
and I've not seen NTR Junior
It's
ever
valid, yeah.
in
John,
any movie, and he's in that.
DJ Deep Remix says, my only concern is that the movie has not been censored yet in the UK. I'm hoping that it's rated 15, otherwise they will cut all the violence. Oh, they better not do that.
Nah,
they
surely
better
not. There's no way.
There's a lot of violence in that trailer. And Sathish says the audio launch is before the movie's release. So there we go. We're getting educated here, John. Thank you very much for that. And DJ Deep Remix says, for me it's Beast because I'm a Thalapathy fan. Yeah, I mean, it's not to downgrade the other 2 films in any manner of sense. It's really just preference, and it's just our experience. John and I have watched every Indian movie together at the same time, in the same week, and so our experiences is exactly the same. Yeah,
exactly. And we've watched way back with Ruth guiding us right back to Fear and Malay.
Yeah,
in terms of his sort of action career, we've still got ones we've missed. The likes of
Gilly, not Gilly.
Biggle.
Sorry,
I think it's more of a sort of multi-character.
Yeah.
Set up with a football.
Soccer, yeah.
But yeah, there was another one. Is it Gilly?
Did we not?
So.
We didn't see that, did we not?
No, that was the one after Fear and Malay, and I think between. What was the one we watched where it was the the game? God, what's the game? What's the game called?
I thought that was Gilly.
Oh no, it may be. The one where it's the touch and.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. You have to keep speaking. You have to keep saying the word.
Yeah.
Maybe you can educate us down here in the comment section.
Or I could just go into IMDb and look at it.
Search it up, man.
I think I will.
But you're not going to get the sport, sadly. God, what's the name of that? I can see it was in a Danush movie as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they played it as well. I'm pretty sure it was. No, it was in Master. It was in Master.
They
played the sport in the jail.
I remember Ruth educating us on the actual sport itself as well, John, because we were very intrigued. It was something that we've never seen before.
I keep saying it, and then they have to keep saying it until they touch someone or something like that.
You've got Terry, you've got Pulley, you've got.
It may have been Pulley. Was it Pulley?
I can't remember. You know that? It's terrible. Maybe someone can help us down in the comment section.
What's the name? What is the word they keep saying? It's like Abigail, something like that. I'm trying to remember. It's going to haunt me. I'm going to search it up.
Gilly's from 2004, so that was.
It was round about that era. It was just after. It was Gilly.
Yeah.
We watched Gilly. Yeah. Now I'm going to find out what that fucking sport is. By the way, I need to find Gilly. I like Gilly a lot.
Yeah, it was John. I remember we talked about that film with Ruth for over an hour.
Sport.
It was almost nearly an hour and a half of just talking about the film because it was that well made. It was a really good story as well. DJ Deep Remix says they messed up on VJ's previous movie Biggle when they rated it as PG and cut out all the fight scenes.
Oh no!
A week after release, they did an uncensored version. That's happened. I've seen that happen in Western films as well, where they've done that. Certainly, if you want to go back to like the Snyder Cut or something like that, where they've realised obviously the error of their ways. But there is films out there that have done that. And there's other films that have done it, in terms of cutting whole characters out of films as well.
I can't find it. That's haunting me.
Yeah. What was the one Kevin Spacey was cut out of and they replaced him?
Oh Christ! It was some money one.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But it's something that's
Christopher
very common.
Plummer.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer. Yeah. Rest in peace. Yeah. But John,
you get nominated for a fucking Oscar.
Yeah. John,
that's how good Christopher was.
Well, that's it exactly. Came into.
I can't remember that sport. What you say in that sport that's winding me up. I'm going to find that, man.
Maybe someone in the comment section can help John there.
They keep saying the word.
It's
and I love the word.
It's eating away at him. But John, we're going to move on anyway because we're going to be talking about Beast quite a bit once we watch that. I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing non-spoiler reviews, spoiler reviews, and it'll probably follow us into the following week for movie news as well. But we're going to talk about Northman. I've clicked on the wrong article there. I was moving on to the third article. The Northman director Robert Eggers shares his thoughts Shares his Batman review actually. The Northman director.
Cabada.
Hey.
Yeah, you saved me, man.
Well done. Thank you.
It starts losing its meaning after a while.
The Northman
Very
director
impressed.
Robert Eggers shares his reaction to Matt Reeves' The Batman, which he has only saw because it starred his friend Robert Pattinson. Is that the only reason you watched it, Robert? Surely not. Surely you're a Batman film.
He's a snob.
Batman fan. John, I mentioned to you before we come on here, if just watching his previous works, in terms of if Matt Reeves hadn't picked up the reboot of the Batman franchise, I would have loved to have seen Eggers doing an attempt at a film. But I don't think he's the type of, I could be wrong, I don't think he's the type of director that would want to commit himself to a franchise for long periods of time and do sequels, etc. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, he strikes me as very much being an independent filmmaker.
So
a
was
guy.
Chris Nolan, but
He strikes me as being like a Tarantino type director, where it's his own sort of wacky world and his own wacky characters,
and he moves on.
And they're very dark and almost period
Yeah.
pieces. But I mean, he's talk of him doing Nosferatu.
John, someone made an observation about Eggers and his films as well, that every film that he's made begins with the.
Yeah,
so
The Witch.
The Batman would have fit in there.
It would have, yeah.
But in an interview with The Guardian, Eggers, who previously worked with Pattinson on The Lighthouse, shares his thoughts on the Batman. While reflecting on his own upcoming film, The Northman, the director says he admires Reeves' ability to make a big studio blockbuster while maintaining his artistic identity. He admits that he only saw the film because Pattinson was in it, but he learned a lot from watching the film. And this is what he said. He said, I saw the Batman really just because Rob is my friend, but I liked it and I learned a lot from stuff. Frankly, I applaud Matt Reeves for keeping an identity and making a film like that. I can't imagine. I don't believe that. I think you would make a pretty good Batman film.
I think you'd make a great Batman movie. I tell you what, he'd make a great Joker movie. Because it's usually really weird, villainous characters.
Get his go-to actor to play it.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. That's what you want to see, John.
Nosferatu. I keep saying it. He's apparently working with Willem Dafoe to create a remake of that movie. So I think that'd be fantastic, man. I have to say, one of the pinnacle of horror movies. That horrendous sort of prosthetics and stuff, isn't it? The sort of bald head guy, isn't it? Like that. Yeah. Weirdo looking character. Some might say it's me.
It was me.
It was me. I am Nosferatu. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that if that's something he's dabbling in, working with Willem Dafoe again, because the fucking White House was just batshit
I know
crazy,
you're looking forward to The Northman as well.
I am, Stephen. Look, we stumbled across that trailer by sheer luck. Yeah. And of course, being of Viking, Danish, what would you even call it? Ancestry. I have that in my blood. That's why I've got the ginger beard and the lovely green eyes. I was immediately drawn to that. It's something that's in my actual blood. I've got some obsession with Scandinavian culture as well. I just think it's fucking cool. It's better than us. We're shit. We're boring. We're mongrels over here. And they're mongrels as well. But it's just that culture is there. It's all something that I've had an interest in. I grew up, man, going to the fucking Viking Museum in Largs when I was a little guy. So I was drawn to the movie anyway. I then discovered that it was obviously Alexander Skarsgård who was playing the lead. Fucking incredible actor. Ripped out his nut.
Again.
Just incredible. He played Tarzan, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just
a unit.
Punished himself. Pummeled himself into the ground with the diet and the exercising. He's done it again for this movie. He looks insane. You then inform me that it's Robert Eggers who's directing it. And the cast is just stunning. You've got Defoe in there as well. He's playing a holy man by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
My kind of movie, man. Right up my street. Historic. This guy just says it. He does historic sort of dramas that are a bit batshit crazy. This looks like it's a continuation, but also an evolution, Stephen, because The Witch was set within the confines of this little clearing in New England. Yeah. During the Salem witch trials. There was a lot of confusion, a lot of paranormal stuff. A lot of concern over witchcraft, and it was a small scale movie, but it was gritting for me. I enjoyed it. I know my family members, certain individuals, didn't enjoy it quite as much. They enjoyed the end sequence though, when Anya Taylor-Joy's walk absolutely in the scud. Billy Bullock into the woods. Enjoyed that, but not so much the movie. I think she was about 19 then. That's a bit fucking weird, but hey ho. it's a different kind of movie. The Lighthouse, very art house, independent, small scale movie on this island. This is like a fucking... Who directed The Gladiator, Steve? I'm trying to remember who directed
Ridley
it.
Scott, wasn't
Ridley
it?
Scott. This is getting into Ridley Scott territory, sort of historic drama. It's bigger in scale, a much bigger cast, lots of talent, and you're going all over the place, man.
It's still got the darkness though, John, of
Still
his
got that
previous
darkness, yeah.
films, you know, and that sort of uncomfortable sort of viewing, if you like, you know, and he certainly got that in the Lighthouse because of the surroundings and because it was such a tight cast. There was only 3 of them, wasn't it? Plus a seagull.
A seagull
that made it
destroyed.
It made its unfortunate end, yeah.
And
which was probably a standout scene for me.
That's what brought the chaos on.
I don't know about you, John, but I like his humour as well. It's the dark humour that he laces throughout the films as well. That it does have you laughing at yourself, you know, at certain scenes. And
it was your man, wasn't it? In The Witch, the mustachioed guy from The Office.
Yeah.
Forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
He was a dick in The Office.
Yeah.
And he wasn't much
he's
better
he's
than
a
that.
really good actor, yeah.
He played the father, and he's a bit of a dick in that as well.
Yorkshire, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
I'm going to search the Northman up very quickly. I know we're going off in tangents here, Stephen, I know. But I feel fucking the No Diary.
It was really just to talk about, obviously,
the
Batman once again, but to talk about the Northman as well, you know, because we've not really covered that. But John, you mentioned it as well, and I did pick it up on one of the other YouTube channels that was talking about early reviews that have already come in.
Very positive
feedback,
very positive.
You know, so
Jared Blaschke's guy doing the director of photography, he worked on The Witch, he worked on The Lighthouse, Stephen. I've watched and read articles that are like fucking essays where this guy's speaking about lighting, dimly lit sequences, how it's an art form. This guy's supremely talented. The composers, there's 2 composers, so it's usually the same people that directors work with. You've seen it, Zimmer with Nolan, Hoyt van Hoytema with Nolan, so it's the same setup here. The reviews very, very positive for that movie. Cannot wait to see it, man. I don't think that's long away either in terms of release. A lot of big releases, man. Nope, the Indian stuff we've been talking about, KGF Chapter 2, Beast. Huge movies coming out. Doctor Strange coming out in about a month. This is a great year for cinema, and we needed it and after
Disney
last year. Disney Plus, man. Obi-Wan.
Can't wait.
Moon Knight out.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel coming out, if that's your thing. It actually looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
There's lots of interesting content coming out, and it's long overdue because it's been a horrendous couple of years. But the Batman, Stephen, I loved the Batman.
John,
Gave it a 9.
we went to see it, I think the first weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Saturday morning, and you know, when it was pretty early days, wasn't it? It was very early in the morning we went. So by lunchtime I was already,
I would get up normally.
I was already home, and for the rest of that day it just kept coming into my head. Scenes, obviously the Nirvana song as well was
the Amazing Grace, Stephen, as well. That's a song that's got strong connections to my family, obviously my great grandmother.
It was a great film, and it was one of those ones that stays with you right after the film for many hours, maybe days actually. Just kept thinking about it. And we got a cool free poster as well.
We did, which is on my wall.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's a really good poster.
And it is a great poster. But Stephen, it was a fantastic movie. And I'm glad to see that they're drawing out, even if it's just friends of friends, in this case Pattinson and Eggers.
Yeah.
They're drawing in these kind of directors to watch this movie. Fuck knows, get Scorsese in front of it, maybe he'll learn something. He's starting to lose a bit of originality, Scorsese. It's the same old fucking shit he's putting out.
Let's do a gangster film,
Again, for the 15th time.
Yeah.
Let's get Francis Ford Coppola in front of this movie. These are the kind of comic book movies, if you can call it that. I never really associated DC with sort of... When I think of comic book, I think of Marvel.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
At what it does. It's got an audience. But it's airy. DC's always lended itself more to drama and dark human condition stories. Batman is a very character. Is dark human condition. He's like 3 characters in one. He's almost schizophrenic. So that lends itself to the darkness that obviously Eggers is connecting with. You mentioned it, Stephen. There's always that darkness there. Even dark humour. So it doesn't surprise me he's went in and watched it and enjoyed it. But what surprises me is he's learnt something from it, because there's not much fucking Eggers can learn.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. And
but Reeves is fucking great.
It's I mean, I think the film speaks volumes as well for Matt Reeves, John, and Eggers says it in his comments as well, in terms of how he was able to sort of keep his identity, his own reputation, if you like, with such a big film. But I think with the Batman, franchise, you can do that. You know, Chris Nolan did it. You know, a guy that's not famous for doing sequels committed himself to 3 films because basically, you know, you take the character, and as long as you keep the sort of fundaments in place, you know, of the character and the essence of the character, you've really got free reign on what you want to do with it. You know, there's nothing to say that you have to go back to the comic lore or anything like that. It does help if you want to keep the fans on side, right enough. Certainly in the terms of Batman 1989, getting Jack Napier, aka the Joker, to kill the Bruce Wayne's parents was obviously the Wayne. He's turned the Waynes against me. That's what Arthur Fleck said in the Joker. He's turned the Waynes against me. It's an in-joke. No one outside that Glasgow would get this.
Brian Lemond up. He's a comedian. He's
Wayne
fucking
actually means child here.
Yes.
Bairn.
Again, you speak about Scandinavian.
You know, but John, I mean, you can rub people up the wrong way if you take it too far one way and not too far the other. In terms of Matt Reeves, I think it just absolutely nailed the detective side of the story for me. And you know, when we're talking to Gianni when we did the review a month or two back,
it was a month.
He really got right into the sort of the analysis of the themes that were explored in the film, and I don't think either the two of us could really explain it any better than he did, with saying, you know, up to probably the last half hour it was a detective film, purely a detective film, and then
it became a Batman
movie in the last
Steve,
half
it was
hour.
almost biblical. It was almost like a biblical tale for me, that movie. It was like a rebuff. It was as if he had been baptised at the end. He came out a new man. He was full of sin. He became sin free.
Yeah.
And that's when the no-kill policy, the no vengeance thing started to kick in. He was actually saving people, leading people out the darkness. It was almost like fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
Getting baptised with John. Was that what... I don't know. I'm not a fucking Bible basher. But I believe it was John baptised Jesus and led him. And he...
Are you not, John? You just said the film was biblical.
Well, I mean, I studied it, Stephen, as a
I
a
get what you're
kid,
saying,
but
I mean, the actual...
I was forced to do it.
Yeah, the premise of the film kind of follows the same track, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But...
speaking of that, I mean, again, we're going back to the sort of main topic at the beginning of the show, telepathy. You speak about biblical, I always get back to the fact that what I think fuels that guy in his sort of life, day-to-day life, aside from sort of film star things and stuff like that. What you having, Steve?
I'm just thinking, our live chat just came to a shut and hot the minute we changed subject.
I know. I'm just thinking the fact that what fundamentally fuels that guy and his humanitarian work, bringing back the oxygen canisters and stuff, is the fact that he has got his faith. He's a bit
John, you can't deny that.
Devout Catholic,
so the man, you
speaking
know,
about the Bible, you know,
out with obviously, you know, his film career. I think that's one of the things that's really drawn us to him as well, is obviously the human side of him, you know, and his social values, you know, and I think
and also the shitbaggery of certain people in the south of India try to tear him down.
Yeah,
the whole tax stuff and things like that. We got a comment. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
hell for the view. I wasn't putting that out.
John, we're an entertainment channel. At the end of the day, we're not here to talk about obviously these comments. You know, people want to dish on, you know, tax and etc. We're not here for that. We're here to talk about the movie stars, you know, and the actors.
Exactly.
But we're going to talk about another actor, John, that's quite beloved to both of us throughout our lives. Anyway, you know, I think it's fair to say, you know, he has made an impression on our lives for the last 3 decades at least. You know, it's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
It's Francis Ford Coppola's nephew.
Never happier, by the way, Stephen, than seeing Nick Cage trending on Twitter the other day.
Yeah, what was that about?
It was a celebration of his career, his movies.
Oh, I see, right, okay.
Leaving Las Vegas he won the Oscar for?
Yeah.
Something Arizona. Shit, I watched it, Coen Brothers.
Yeah, it was, John, it was...
Finding Arizona.
Finding Nemo.
Fucking watched the film.
Can you imagine him doing a voiceover and
I could imagine. Is it Leaving Arizona? And he won the Oscar for the Las Vegas.
I'm actually
an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm actually not on here to look this up, by the way, but I'll do it for you, John. I'm actually want to look at something else.
1980s, late 1980s Coen Brothers movie. Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
It was Leaving Las Vegas, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know.
Mid-90s, 94.
We're going here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, fuck it.
Right, okay.
You don't haunt me.
It's Leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving Las
Ben
Vegas, yeah.
Sanderson, he played John, of course.
Won the Oscar.
Know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about when I've got IMDb up, but John.
He was celebrated on Twitter.
Wally's
That's where we
Wonderland.
went with that.
Yeah. John,
It's been that kind of show. It's been very dementia-ridden.
we had Pig, obviously, in Gianni's top
Yep.
films of 2021, which I've still to see, and I really do want to see.
Did they have Mandy in the previous year?
I don't know. I'm
that
not sure.
mental sort of fucking psychedelic cover.
Don't know what's coming up in the Premier League in week 33.
This show has been fucking
It's fine.
deranged.
It's fine. That's what it's all about. Life shows, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent,
Yep.
where he plays a guy called Nick Cage. Now, this film, I saw the trailer for this on.
And Pedro Pascal
was
channels
on
his
YouTube.
inner partridge.
John, it was actually a YouTube ad that came on, and it was this, and I was watching it thinking, what is this? And it looks incredible.
It does, yeah.
And it's out in 11 days' time, the 22nd of April. Can't wait to see that.
Getting great reviews, by the way, at the 100% in Rotten Tomatoes not too long ago.
Yeah, but we're talking about Face Off 2.
Two.
Dukes. And it's
Vai.
Nicolas Cage says he would make Face Off 2, which is currently in pre-production, with
Really?
Godzilla v Kong director Adam Wingert directing.
What the fuck are we talking about here? Face Off 2's happening?
He confirms he would return. Well, you better make your decision very
Right,
quickly because
I'm
they're
gonna-
fucking
I'm
making
gonna-
it just now. According to this whopping, but
Face Off 2 2020?
Yeah.
What?
2020 or 2 years
You
late.
what?
When did this come out?
That's a 9 out of 10, by the way.
That's I think that's a foreign film, John.
Yes, it is.
But listen, this was actually in a Reddit AMA. When asked if Cage would return for the sequel, he responded in a word, yes. I can't do his accent, obviously. Though it is unclear if
Yes.
Cage has been asked to reprise his role, the fact that Face Off 2 is a direct sequel leaves the door open for Troy's return. I thought he died, despite his apparent death at the end of the original film.
He did
But
die.
with the face swapping surgery shown in the first song, it's completely possible that Troy's face could be grafted, not unless it was bumped,
Fuck's sake, it's a different character
into a
then.
new character's body. Then there's a screenshot.
That's not
there
Troy
from
then.
Reddit.
It's no longer Troy.
How do we know that's Nicolas Cage actually verified account?
It's Lionsgate, isn't it?
Oh, is that the studio?
yeah.
Right, okay, fair dues.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage says yes, so it must be yes. Knocked me for a loop there. But John, Face Off, I remember Face Off when it came out. It was
Yeah.
in the back of...
I remember it as well.
well, I'm saying it was in the back of... It was just this incredible run of films for Nicolas Cage in the late 90s, wasn't it? And Face Off being one of them. John Travolta, obviously playing opposite him as well, was just as great because they had to play each other at some point, you know. And
that
John,
famous quote.
I was going to ask you, what was that again? It was the priest scene,
Yeah,
wasn't
well,
it?
it wasn't a quote so much in that Travolta
It was a
came
moment,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, Travolta came on. He hadn't liaised at all with Nick Cage. He knew that they were going to have to play each other, so the other man's performance would rub off on him. He comes onto the set and he sees Nick Cage doing that famous priest moment
With the choir,
where he's fucking going absolutely crazy, and he's like, okay, that's the way we're playing it then. And they obviously went off, and the energy and just the vibe on that set, clearly incredible. Because look, it's a stupid movie.
Yeah.
Let's not be about the bush.
Is it John Woo? I have to check that.
I think it was,
I think
yeah.
it was. It's that usual two guns in the hand, rolling about kind of thing, isn't
It's
it?
a stupid movie, but it was so 90s, man. And it was just perfect. I fucking loved it as a kid.
I loved it as well.
I'm the type of guy that grew up watching Freddy Krueger. Haunted me. Loved RoboCop and all the gore and the violence. It shaped me into the individual I am just now. And these kind of movies, man, they were kids' play for me.
John,
by the time I got to that, it was 97, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. 1995, Leaving Las Vegas. 96, The Rock. 97, Con Air. 97, Face Off. 98, City of Angels. 98, Snake Eyes. 99, 8mm. There you are. I mean, then you go into Gone in 60 Seconds, etc. in the 2000s.
Talking about that
But
today.
this guy, his career, I don't know why people...
Man of War.
Yeah, Man of
It
War.
starts with the gun, the bullet being produced. He's had a brilliant career, Stephen. He's a figure of fun.
I don't understand that though. I don't understand.
Places, I think
it's a generation thing that's missed out on all that great film.
I think it's just the Wicker Man, which he came out and says it wasn't to be taken serious. they shot it like that. I don't believe that, Nick. But in certain words, he's a joke figure, and I keep having to explain. This guy knows his fucking cinema.
Yep.
He's a Coppola. And he's an Oscar winner.
Yep.
He's deliberately doing zany, different movies. He's disconnected himself from the Hollywood elite. He's working with Netflix. He's doing the things that he wants to do.
Yeah.
Things that are inspiring him. And we've seen this done with multiple actors over the years. Well, I was going to say Bruce Willis, but then in recent light, that's maybe not something that was actually accurate. I think he was just going through something.
But I think he's got a consistency as well, just very much like Nick Cage.
Yeah,
when you talk about Bruce Willis, he has got a volume of work there, John, that's very high quality.
Yeah, but then you get into the sort of last 10 years and obviously he was suffering a horrendous condition that's obviously destroyed him cognitively.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, look, I think he's...
Lord of War, was it, John?
Lord of War, Lord of War, not Man of War. What was Man of War? That was a fucking fish, wasn't it?
Man of War.
I think Man of War was not a jellyfish can kill you. I think it was. Portugal.
That would make a good film. Get Nick Cage to voice it.
Yeah. Portuguese waters. Believe me, I know. Been there enough times, I think 4 times.
John, would you watch A Face Off 2? With Nick Cage?
But Travolta have to have been there as well. Because he's a bit shit now and a bit strange.
A bit bald, yeah.
He is bald, yeah. Not wrong with that. Stephen, lay off the baldies, come on.
I don't know if I would want to see this. I think as a standalone it's perfect.
Stephen,
it's just a perfect silly film.
The biggest issue they would have is recapturing the energy.
I think so. I think, John, as well, that that as well, yeah, recapturing the energy, but I think as well
would it work in this era?
I think putting a sequel out would make it take itself too serious as well.
Yeah.
As if it really does mean something.
But it wouldn't take itself seriously enough. Stephen, for me, I think I come to America.
Yeah,
I think of coming to America.
And Dumb and Dumber 2.
Dumb and Dumber 2. I think of remakes of RoboCop, remakes of Total Recall. They never seem to hit off.
No, Dimension Returns, yeah.
Because you just can't recapture that magic with another actor, or if you're using older actors who played the original characters, they don't have the same verve or energy about them.
No.
I don't think you'd have an issue with Nick Cage. It's really John Travolta. Would he be able to fucking turn up and deliver? Has John delivered recently? Apart from making us laugh unwittingly in The Fanatic and things like that, one of the worst movies I've ever fucking seen. I'd have concerns about John Travolta coming in. But Stephen, if the script was there, if they had the right people on board behind the camera, and Nick Cage delivers what he's doing just now, he's on a fucking roll.
Yeah.
Mandy, Pig, this latest one, what was it called?
I've switched my machine off, John. I
have.
I don't have IMDb up now, so I don't know a thing about it. John, there's one thing I'll say about Nick Cage, and is that he doesn't shy away from any film that he's in, regardless of the quality of writing, regardless of the quality of the production. We've said this and we'll say it time and time again, he's never the problem in the films. He always brings his fucking A game to every film he's in, no matter how shite it might be. He's not the problem. He's the star. He's a bloody star, you know. And he is the what was that quote earlier on?
He is the fucking click.
Yeah, what was that quote though from the Thalapathy Vijay review?
The quote?
Yeah, the quote. Somebody says that he's the main man or something. I can't remember. He stole the show. Well, that's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage.
Whoo, Harley
stole the show behind us. My 6.5 stone Fox Red Labrador has delivered a very potent piece of flatulence.
Yeah.
That's knocked us for a loop.
Yeah, I think we did that, not John. That was a good line. Oh, child. I love Nicolas Cage. I do. Big Daddy is amazing.
She wanted a teddy bear, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she's like, nah,
you want a puppy?
A puppy? Yeah, I'm just fucking with you.
I'm just fucking with you, Daddy.
I was disappointed, by the way. I seen Brooklyn Beckham. We got off in a fucking gossip.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of show I've had. I woke up to the news that Brooklyn Beckham getting married to a billionaire heiress.
Okay.
Married in her, I think, £6 million seaside mansion. And I'm like, that's a shame, man.
I'm sure they've got prenups in there.
Yeah, but where I'm going with that is you mentioned Big Daddy, obviously, Hit Girl. I'm pretty sure he was going out with Chloe Grace Moretz for it.
He was, that's right,
That's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, they made a good couple.
But it's sadly it wasn't to be.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know why I went there.
Lucky escape for Chloe, yeah. You dodged a bullet there, hen.
I don't mind David. Boy. He's alright. Apart from the whole sort of Union Jack humping. But It's par for the course for an Englishman, isn't it? That's what they kind of do. Nothing wrong with that. I tend to hump the saltire as well, and the tricolour. And if I could get my way, probably a flag of Denmark and India, because I've 2% Indian. I keep saying it because I want to celebrate my culture in its fullest extent. But I digress. I'm going off on a tangent here. It's dangerous. I have been drinking. I digress. Come back there. There was a point where I was going to get an I digress t-shirt. That's what Stephen's alluding to here. And it was a fucking terrible idea. A terrible idea. I says on a live show, I want to say a week back, maybe 2 weeks back, going off on a further tangent, going deeper into the tangent. Sarlacc pit, deep. Inception deep. Fucking
deeper underground.
Deeper underground. I have went 7 levels into this fucking nightmarish tangent. If I said I digress outside where we stay, and we stay in a pretty alright place here to be fair, but where I frequent during the day. I understand
what you're saying, John.
Yeah, I think but I'd get plunged in the neck with a blade, that's what it says. I wouldn't have to worry about a slap. It'd be a fucking slap.
Digressing ever again.
Yeah, it'd be a slap to the jugular vein, but let I digress, we'll end on that note. I says it deliberately. What is your thoughts on the topics we've touched upon on this show tonight? What do you make about that potentially fake first review of Thalapathy Vijay's upcoming
news
beast? Talking about slapping blades into jugular veins. I wish, allegedly.
John, your top's almost like his complexion.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway,
my top's almost the colour that I imagine his diet to be. Just beige and yellow. And fucking orange, but not an actual orange, just an orange shade of cheese. A lot of cheese, a lot of chips, a lot of obscure fucking condiments going on an overdone steak. He's a strange man. Guy's a bastard. Bastard, yeah, boy. Like, what's your thoughts on the topic? What do you make about Thalapathy Vijay's beast? That first potentially fake news review that has come out, praising it, saying that it's slick, saying that it's a scene stealer for Thalapathy. I'm going to get rid of this. I've just put that up. I don't know why. And come to this scene. Now we're getting the intro. Potential scene stealer. What's your thoughts on it? What is your anticipation levels for that movie, man? We're just a couple of days out from it now. You can comment down below if you have anything to say at all down below in the comment section about that. What's your thoughts on the other topics as well? What do you make about the Northman's Robert Eggers giving us a little impromptu review of the Batman? And finally, Nick Cage, would you like to see a Face Off 2 at some point featuring the talents of Nick Cage and one John Travolta? You can comment down below if you have anything to say about that as well down below in the comment section. While you're at it, you can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs for live shows. We do 3 a week usually, and then it's pre-recorded reactions. Incidentally, we will be watching The Family Man Thursday, Friday, hopefully. Slight delay to that, by the way, the actual recording. Stevens became a statue. You can subscribe if you're looking forward to that. You want to see that. That's something that tickles your fancy. Hit the follow button, the notification icon, whatever the fuck it is, over on Twitch as well to get us over there for all the aforementioned reasons. Regardless of what you do though, thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, me and Stephen are done. Bye bye. Came to your life. Satish, sadly, if that's how you say your name, I will butcher it. I may be 2% Indian, but fuck me, I cannot pronounce the names of the places. By the way, I spent, and we're going off on another tangent, an unreal amount of time looking at beaches in Chennai the other day on Google Maps, and the amount of dogs, man, that are lying about trying to get fish is incredible. They're fucking cute dogs, but clearly stray dogs. Don't know why I did that. I've been a fan of Thalapathy not for quite as long, man, so that's fucking impressive. 16 years, man. 26 years. My maths is shite. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Every time I hit the unmute, it changes scene. Bye. It's a shambles.